What's going on, everybody? It is your boy Chris, man. We are here at the Work Hard, Play Harder podcast. It is Saturday, November 9th, 2024. My name is Chris Drummond. I'm a freelance sports reporter based out of Minnesota here. I'm also a proprietor of this podcast, Work Hard, Play Harder, where I bring individuals on to talk about their why and get to know them outside of their occupation. I got a special guest that's coming on with me today. She is a graphic designer. She is also a blogger for Beautiful Ballers. She also has a podcast of her own called Bonafide Her. Her name is Ashley White, and we are going to talk to her about her why of getting into sports and writing, and also get to know her outside of her occupation. It's going to be a fun interview, and I'm looking forward to it. So, without any further ado, I introduce you the wonderful, talented, and the beautiful Ashley White.
Hey,
Good evening. How you doing, Ashley?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm doing very well too. Very well too. It's wonderful to see your face. Just want to say, thank you for allocating time to me to come on my podcast. I really do appreciate it, and want to ask you how was the game, and also how's your week been going?
Man, this game was tough, but it's a learning experience. Life is lifing, I will say, but a lot of blessings to it, to be honest. So yeah, that's really all I could say right now because the season just started, so I'm still there. It's
Sure.
it's gonna grow. So
Okay. I got you. That's what's up. I love that. I love that perspective. Let me reiterate to you why I wanted to have you on here. And that's why, and that the reason why I should say is because one, I know you're involved in sports. If I'm not mistaken, you're a graphic designer, and that's what you do. But also, you have a Bonafide Her podcast where you bring on women ballers as well. You're also a blogger for Beautiful Ballers, as well. So anytime that I get a chance to talk to someone who is as passionate about sports as you are, it's a blessing because that's what I do for my job. I cover sports as well, cover high school, college, and sometimes pros as a freelancer. But for the past 6 years, prior to me going to freelancing, I was working in different publications in Atlanta and now here in Minnesota. So I wanted to start this podcast to be able to give people a chance to tell their story. It's a rarity that we get to sit down and tell our story about how we got into our professions because we're always working within the profession. So I love the fact that you have a podcast, which we are going to talk about for sure. And I love the fact that you said yes to this because I'm very happy to talk to you.
I ain't gonna lie, I don't get a lot of chances that people want to speak to me. So I'm like, oh, okay. So I was like, all right, bet. So, cause I don't, not a lot of people ask me to come on other people's podcasts. I usually be asking people to come on podcasts, but I don't usually get asked a lot to go on podcasts. But I do. I was like, okay, cool. But then I have to figure out, oh, what should I say? What do I talk about? Cause I rather hear other people's stories than tell my own in a way. So, but do I need a better light? Can you see me okay? Or I could get better lighting if I need to go to a different place.
No, you're good. You're good. You're solid.
Okay,
You're
I just wanted to double check and make sure because yeah, so
Absolutely. No, you look fine. No question about that. That's for sure. Um, let me start this as I always do, Ashley, with the first question, and that is, what is your why? What is your why of doing what you do? What is your why of being in the sports, graphic designing, writing about sports, even podcasting? Was there any role models growing up that you wanted to emulate? Was there any inspirational people in your life that you kind of wanted to mirror your, career path after? But what is your why of getting into sports?
woo. What is my why getting into sports? Okay, so that's really a broad question, but I could tell you the short version, or I could tell you like the real version where I just go all out it. So
Well, give me the real version now. Can we keep it real here on the Work Hard, Play Hard?
all right, so how I got into sports. So I was 5 years old. My family is a sport people.
Mm-hmm.
My mom did cheerleading at Wake Forest and did tennis and golf. My biological dad was a tennis player, did a little bit of basketball, but he was much of a tennis player.
Okay.
So just, you know, when you live in North Carolina too, like it's a whole ACC, like the state, everything. So
Sure.
how I got into sports when I was 5 years old, it was the same time I was diagnosed with autism.
Okay.
Um, so I got into sports at the age of 5. I did basketball. I still play basketball a little bit. Got into softball. My sister played softball. She was a collegiate softball player at Meredith College in Raleigh, which is right across the street from NC State. So it's an all-girls
Absolutely.
college. So yeah. Um, and then for me, it was a different path in certain ways. So how it happened was I tried out multiple times in different schools for, high school, middle school, and never got the chance to make it. So I played a little bit of travel ball. That
Right.
team kind of like dysfunctioned in a way, kind of defunct. And then later, I got into, college, junior college. And by the time I graduated from junior college, they just started a women's basketball program there. And I was graduating by the time they just first started it. So I still wanted to be in the sports world, of course. So I was going to find a way to still be in it. Went to NC
Sure.
State for a little bit before transferring to UNCW. And how it was I went to state, NC State for a little bit, just riding back and forth between Wilmington and Raleigh, which is 2 hours, so 4 hours overall. And I was
Mm.
juggling with work. So at the time, I went into Special Olympics Unified and try that out, see how that went. So there's Special Olympics and then Special Olympics Unified. So
Sure.
my one of my internships that I did for NC State for my major was sports management, sports leadership. I did internship for Special Olympics in the New Hanover County area, which is Wilmington, North Carolina. And I
All
was
right.
assistant coaching a 3-on-3 because they have 3-on-3 for basketball and then 5-on-5 for basketball. I was doing the 3-on-3
Okay.
and it was smooth. And then later on, the Special Olympics Unified, which is a mixture of people with disabilities, mental disabilities, physical disabilities, and a mixture of like normal people playing together basketball wise. And they have other sports. So they had a Special Olympics Unified at UNCW, and I played there a little bit. So I was like, I'll go ahead and see how it goes. And my game impressed a lot of people in
Okay.
ways. So there was a lady that was supervising, overviewing it, and she asked me if, what school I go to and stuff. So I told her, yeah, I go to NC State, a little bit, saying, I'm trying to get to NC State women's basketball as a manager at the time. Um, I thought I was going to get the manager spot for NC State, but they already had it full. So that was a sign like, man, I don't know if I can handle going to state and not being able to be part of a team.
Sure.
So
Sure.
I transferred to UNCW, and the lady that was still there, she actually helped me get into UNCW's women's basketball program. And I was a student athlete manager for the UNCW women's basketball program for 2.5 years.
Yeah.
And it was a learning experience, to be honest, because I got into it maybe in the middle or before the beginning of the season. So, and the first year was kind of tough, but
Okay.
second year and towards my graduating year, which was 2018, I graduated December 2018. Um, it got a lot better, but of course, certain seasons you have certain coaches, and switching coaches at times can be also a benefactor of maybe how certain seasons go.
Yeah.
So I'm actually still connection with my old college coach.
Hmm.
at from UNCW. Um, she's been very supportive of my whole journey. She was the first person really to really believe in me. Like when I got the previous coach, it was a learning experience just because it was so different from the coaching style versus the coach that
I'm
I'm
sure.
working with that has
Absolutely.
because their coaching style is so different.
Hmm.
And um so yeah. And by the time I graduated, um I it was after I graduated, I found out I've always wondered why I never got to travel. And I wanted to travel with the team, women's basketball team. And I really wanted to travel for the longest time. Just
Sure.
get the experience, gain experience, meet stuff. The time,
Absolutely. Oh yeah.
by the time I graduated, and it was like a day after I graduated, I found out the real reason why I never got to travel. And when I
Mm.
found out, I was literally just hurt in so many ways because it's like, dang, they really put a specific thing over my head and used it against me. And
Mm.
it was just like I missed so many opportunities where I can be able to network or meet people. But at the same time, I was still able to meet and network with people. So say like if the women's games were away, I would usually be at the men's games. And I was
Okay.
always cool with the men's team because I would end up going to watch the men's practice at times. Like
Sure.
I was cool with the assistant coaches and the head coach, but the assistant coach is one of the assistant coaches. We still cool. I'm still tight with. I had him on my podcast, the UNC men's basketball legend. Still cool with him from this day. Um, so I was able to like watch the men's practice. Like I was like probably the only person from the women's team or in like sports staff, whatever it's called, that would watch the men's games. And I was like, see how they do and stuff. But fast forward, I would say, like I said, I was able to like if it was a blessing and a curse in a way. I remember being taught, in situations, there's always a blessing behind every situation. So maybe there
Yep.
was a blessing where I didn't get a chance to travel. Maybe there was a blessing where me staying and watching all the men's games, I got a chance to meet other people, being able to say go to the CAA tournament for the men's games or
Sure.
just to watch them in sport or, meet some of the men's players from other teams, connect with them and stuff. So fast forward, ooh, Lord have mercy. So 2020,
COVID year.
um, yeah, COVID year. So I'll say the year before, 2019, I went to play Special Olympics, the regular Special Olympics. And one of the teammates of mine, he was actually a manager for the men's team. And we would always go against each other on a unified team. So he would always ask me, come to, I should join the team, come to the, practices and stuff. Now, mind
Right.
you, I was the only girl on this team on the Special Olympics basketball
Okay.
5-on-5. So I was the only girl. So I
You
was
was
like,
repping for the girls. I love that.
yeah. So after that, we went on a run, like a state. So, we practiced, went on a run to playoffs, you know, Special Olympics, different counties going against each other, different levels.
Yeah.
So the team I was on, we ended up winning the championship, went to the
Okay.
playoffs, and win the championship. Like we didn't have to like say, we just went straight to the championship because we beat every team that were against each other. So like we didn't have to like say, oh, we lost one, so we had to win two more games. We just won one and then went straight to the championship. And then
Got you.
we had to wait till like the two other teams see. So it was like It was
Sounds like it was double elimination almost.
yes, double
Okay.
elimination. So
Okay.
um that was smooth. And I remember hitting a game winner on that shot
Mm,
in
okay.
one of the playoff games. So that was smooth. And that was smooth for real.
I
And
love that. I love that.
it was in Charlotte too. I will say the state games was in Charlotte, which currently I'm in Charlotte now. So by this time, so and I found this out later on too. So so in the NBA All Stars, I guess they have like game where um some of the professional players will like partner up or buddy up with peoples or representations from different states of Special
Okay.
Olympics.
Okay.
So I was told that I was being considered as a nomination to represent as a considered athlete consideration nominee to represent the whole state of North Carolina. Um,
Okay.
yeah, so to maybe get a chance to, I was considered an athlete nominee to, represent the whole state of North Carolina to, you know, get the chance to represent North Carolina, hopefully get chosen to go to NBA All Star. So, and the year before, Charlotte was the host of an NBA All Star. So I think something happened, but 2020, I was close to going to the Charlotte Hornets camp that they were partnering with Special Olympics, and I was working on like some designs as an appreciation. Thank you. So
Okay.
2020 came around March. I was supposed to go to the Hornet thing. COVID hit.
COVID happened.
So of
Yep.
course, I was a little mad. So it's like, dang, I'm gonna be stuck in the house. And by the time too, like, dang, I'm gonna be stuck in the house on my birthday. That was the crazy thing. But
Oh,
I think honestly, COVID year was a life lesson in ways just because, you see everybody working. And it took the time where it took a lot of people's wake up call to just figure out, what,
what to do?
yeah. So
Yeah.
um 2020, I started my graphic design business of
Okay.
my own. And it was my thing was I did graphic design since I was middle school, but doing it as a business, it was it was a start because, I gotta
Mm,
make my own income. And
sure.
a lot of people would ask me if I would do their designs, but I would never get a chance to price them. So because of my talent, I was like, you know what? I might as well price it, everything. So this year was 4 years since I started my graphic design business.
I love it.
Yeah, so and then yeah, I would say, and then for the Beautiful Ballers blog, I actually started writing for them back in 2017 because what happened was I used to write a blog for Silky Socks, which was a huge sock
Mm,
company, like a huge
okay.
yeah, so I used to
Mm,
write a little bit for them, and it would be like NBA, WNBA, college. And I would do like it was five blogs, one blog each day. So and I was getting paid for it. That was cool. It was an experience. And then 2017, just started writing, doing blogging for them and just writing about different female athletes. And I knew a lot of them because I connected with them through social media or I knew them through personal level.
right.
So yeah, so it was, it was dope. I liked it a lot. And I was still writing it and I still write it at times. I still write articles for, on female athletes.
Oh yeah,
To be
absolutely.
able, I want to be able to like just continue to spread women's sports stories and female athlete stories, especially since you don't get to hear a lot of stories of female athletes unless you're UConn or Tennessee, I always say. And there's so many
Yeah,
people out there that's so relatable that if somebody heard their story, it can be, it can be impactful. So around
absolutely.
2023, um, had a podcast that I was co-hosting with um a girl. She was an athlete. She has her own um fitness business. We did a podcast called She Is Serious or Sis. Um it was She Is Serious. And we did it a little bit and then just kind of parted ways and ways. Nothing bad
Okay.
or anything. Just parted ways, different career paths. So I wanted to continue to do podcasting about women's sports. So that's when Bonafide Her podcast came in. And around November 2023 is when I officially launched it. Had my first guest, who was Kelsey Nicole Nelson. Good peoples, one of my favorite peoples. Um,
I definitely know her, no doubt.
yes, KN. Yeah, I
Hmm.
love her. That's like
Hmm.
my big sister right there. But so 89 episodes later, I'm still here.
I
Um,
love it. I love
yeah.
it. That's great.
So I would say I would say it's sports wide real talk, but the people that inspired me in the sports world, I can give you three.
Okay, give me three.
Mine more is definitely number one for me. Just because,
Absolutely, big time here in Minnesota. No question about that.
yeah, I love mine more. That is my GOAT, I would say, because she is a winner in all aspects of levels. Has one of the highest winning percentage in from high school, college to pros, Olympics wise, with 85.5% winning percentage. One of the
Mm,
best winning percentage in your career. 4 championships, MVPs, the list can go on. She was just a beast, both on and off the court. I love what she stood for off the court. She was huge in social justice. I'm huge in social justice. So for her to take that sabbatical break and doing, something way bigger than basketball and helping a man be exonerated on a crime he never committed and
yeah.
actually helping an innocent man be exonerated. And then they end up getting married and having kids. I think that's super sweet and that's super impactful and inspiring to be honest, because there's gonna be a day when the ball's gonna stop rolling or dribbling everything. So for her to do something very impactful and WNBA has been like huge stepping stone when it comes to social justice. You see
Sure.
what happened with the Atlanta Dream where they got a former co-owner out of there and
Oh,
voted.
no question. Had
Yeah,
to go. Had to go.
yeah. So and then that's one. Kobe Bryant, my goat for of course the men's side, but like to me, Kobe Bryant was the
Couldn't agree with you
of what
more.
Kobe Bryant and honestly, like I said, Kobe Bryant, Maya Moore were the epitome of what a GOAT looks like to me, like
Hmm.
both of them winners. Kobe, I love Kobe just because he was a winner. For him to be able to stay on one team for how many years and was loyal to his team, you know, he was a winner. He didn't have to even when he would play even through injuries, like when he popped his finger back in, I was like, yo, this man wanted to win so bad. That to me, and I loved how he normalized, he was a girl dad.
Right.
I loved how he was a family man and the fact that he had 4 daughters and was an advocate of women's sports. You know, you
Yep.
saw him with the orange hoodie. You saw him at different women games. Like I believe he was gonna own or working on owning a women's soccer team. And the fact that, like I said, the fact that he was a huge advocate of women's sports, you know, huge fan of UConn. You know, they always say that his daughter Gigi was gonna go to UConn. And then he had a daughter that was at USC Trojans. So, I mean, honestly, when you think of LA Lakers, to me, when I think of LA Lakers, it's Kobe. I mean, there's so many greats too. But
Absolutely.
if I'm
Long list of greats.
yeah, so I like I said, I just think for him to use his platform to push and advocate women's sports, I feel like there needs to be more male athletes to do that. You know, hopefully more male athletes. I know I see Kyrie doing it. Um, so I think I like that. And then for me, my third one is definitely Rajon Rondo. I know it's definitely one of
Oh,
the I know it's
he in a little hot water right now, though. Ashley, he in a little hot water.
yeah. I would say Rajon Rondo just because I would say um Rajon Rondo has that chip on his shoulder, but he is a winner.
No, no
Um
question. No question about that.
I love his IQ of the game. He has the best I don't care what anybody says. This man is so smart. He has the best IQ in the game. Like every coach, you hear stories where every coach has said or that he played under that he has the best IQ like when it comes to the floor. Like he knows how to pass. He has one of the best in a couple of years. He had one of the best assist records per game when he had like 11.3 assists per game in a couple of years.
Hmm.
One season, one game, he had like 25 assists in a game, 21 assists in a playoff game. That's so unheard of, to be honest. You know, like I said, he's a winner, but I love the chip on his shoulder that he plays with a chip on his shoulder, you know.
Hmm.
And I loved him when he was at the Celtics, of course. But, you know, of course, people are gonna say, "Oh, he can't shoot." Well, sometimes you don't have to be a great shooter to be a great passer. Like if you know how to help, if you know how to lead a team in different ways. To me, you're a great player. So, but I just honestly, I just love how Rajon Rondo. Like I just love his skill set. I love how he knows. I love his IQ of the game. That's the
I love
thing.
that.
And
That's what's up.
I think to me, that's a lost art in today's basketball because
Hmm.
a lot of people don't have IQs nowadays. They're more of the athleticism or the talent is not, you know, it's hard to find like that IQ. And plus to me, Rondo was like he's like a pure point guard, just like Chris Paul. So
Sure. Sure.
yeah.
Absolutely. I love that. I love that first answer, and I know that the rest of the questions that I have lined up is going to be amazing as well. I know this next one here has to do with your school choice. I know you went to Cape Fear Community College as
I
well.
did.
I also know that you, like you said, you went to UNCW. Talk to me about going to that community college and then also transferring to UNCW. Were there any other schools that could have persuaded you from going to those particular colleges and universities?
Man. So Cape Community College, I just went through the JUCO route, to be honest.
Okay.
You know, just and first of all, I didn't want to take no SAT. So I was like, I'll just take the academics. I wasn't gonna take no SAT or ACT. Like
I feel that.
I try to avoid any type of big testing. I ain't gonna lie, but acupuncture, I was like, all right, I'll take the acupuncture.
I mean, that's a long ass test. Don't get me wrong. SAT by what, 4 hours? So yeah, that's pretty long.
I don't know it because I never took it, so I would never know that. And I don't want to be what's it called? I didn't want to be graded for my IQ, so that
Sure.
wasn't.
I feel you. No, I feel that. I feel that.
So junior college, honestly, a lot of people like to downplay junior college, but junior college is hard too. There are teachers that do not play about their grades or schoolwork.
Sure.
And if you are not on time, that door is locked for the rest of the rest of the time. So,
Hmm.
and the grades was always very high expectation wise.
Sure.
So got my associates, and then I did early childhood certificate with it as well. So
Okay.
just just the nerd, just like to learn. I was that's I'm just a nerd that like to learn. There you go. So and then went to Mount Olive a little bit, took like online classes like with criminal justice class, and then
Yep.
went to NC State for a little bit, did sports management, leadership classes online. But I would go back and forth from Wilmington to NC State, Raleigh area, go back and forth. UNCW, I think what got me into UNCW was having the opportunity to be the student athlete manager for the women's basketball. So
Okay.
that
I
was
like that.
more of that choice wise, even though I wanted to get out of Wilmington so badly.
Mm.
But honestly, like me living in Wilmington versus me going to UNCW, it was a whole different world, to be honest. Like from my perspective, it was a whole different world. Because when
Okay.
you're in UNCW, when I was going to UNCW, you're around the athletes and the other students, it felt like it's just like a different atmosphere. You're you you're just a new person in a way. I felt very like it was different versus like, you know, going on like round town that with people that I knew, that I grew up with, that was I mean that not that's outside of UNCW. Like it's
Okay.
like a whole different it's just a whole different atmosphere and world. It felt like two worlds. So
Okay.
like you have
I
the
can dig that.
yeah, so I always
Oh,
felt like, dang, I forget. Like when I was at UNCW, I keep forgetting, oh, I'm still in Wilmington. So it's like, so it almost felt like I said, I felt like UNCW had its own little town in a way. And then
right.
when you get out of UNCW, it's like, oh, still back in
You
Wilmington.
Wilmington. Yeah, you back in Wilmington. Okay. I feel you on that.
So,
That's what's up.
but, and UNCW wasn't even my first choice at all. Like I said, I wanted to get away from Wilmington. I wanted to move so badly because I wanted to like start new fresh with everything because of the trial and tribulations I went through with a travel team and just start brand new.
Okay.
So that's a different story for another time. I would say I had a whole list of colleges that I really wanted to go. Like that was my like dream schools. So San Diego State was one of them because I was born in San
Hey,
California. So San Diego State was one of them. Um,
my hometown school. I'm from San Diego, so I love it. I
hey,
love it.
good for it.
619-858. Stand up. I love it. No
Yeah.
doubt.
Um, Fayetteville State. Just because I wanted to learn more about HBCUs, and Fayetteville State was like not far from Wilmington. So, and then there were some other schools, Um, but yeah, I just went to UNCW. Then after UNCW, honestly, got into grad school online at
Mississippi
Mississippi
State.
at
Yep.
Mississippi Valley State University. I have to correct people that it's Mississippi Valley State
State.
University. It's
Yes.
not
It's
Mississippi.
actually the same school that I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Jerry Rice went to. The wide
Yeah,
receiver.
Mississippi Valley State University is where Jerry Rice went to. Yes, sir.
All
So I
right.
usually have to always say, yeah, Mississippi Valley State University, same college that Jerry Rice went to. Let's put some respect on that. But
Absolutely.
yeah, I took online classes for my master's for criminal justice because it was at the time, it was a little bit after, COVID was still hitting around 2021, 2022.
Yep. Oh yeah.
plus, like I said, I was huge in social justice, and I wanted to like find ways of how like I could get better understanding laws, as well as how can certain laws can be able to change where, you don't see, you know, where one group of people are getting more massacred and more jail time than the other the other group of people. So
Sure.
I remember doing a research paper on racial disparity in prison. So, and it's like this is every day that you see it in the news or people don't talk about it. Um, so I took a little break from masters because online, out of state, tuition,
Well, that money hit you, no doubt.
yes. But I still plan on, I still want to do grad school, but that's gonna have to when I get that money up, I will, yeah.
I feel you. Say less. Definitely know about that. I'm in grad school myself. Because I'm an alumni to this school, because I graduated with my undergrad at Kennesaw State University. I'm a alumni there, so they gave me some great alumni fees on that. So I was like, cool. So I'm in grad school. I actually graduate next spring. So next spring is going to be my graduate thing, and it's good too because going back to a school that I really enjoyed my time at in Atlanta, Georgia, and now being in my 30s is different. So it's definitely something that I definitely appreciate for sure.
Yeah. Oh, congratulations, for real. That's dope. And actually been to Kennesaw State campus because
Mm,
before COVID hit, I did some sports ministry with Managers on a Mission. At the time it was called Managers on a Mission, but now it's called Uncommon Sports Group. Um,
yeah, absolutely.
so I did some sports ministry work where it was in Atlanta. So and I was like, I've never heard of Kennesaw State, but I probably heard of it, but I just didn't know about it. And then what was crazy was I was with this group before, so I was part of Managers on a Mission back in
Absolutely.
2019 when they had different sports. They had different what's it called? Mission trips. And
Okay.
I got selected to go on a mission trip. And the mission trip that I went to was in Minneapolis, Minnesota. And that's where the headquarters was. And the hotel was nice too. Cause all the hotel was like they had like the catwalk and it was connected to the Target Center.
I
So
know exactly where you're talking about because I know I've stayed at that hotel before covering state basketball and out here when I did for the publication. So I know what you're talking about. Yes, very nice hotel.
yeah, so and then we went to different like places like the University of Minnesota campus was super nice. They have a nice facility. So and just
They
we
do.
did and then did some evangelism and just devotional Bible study, of course. So like
Okay,
also
I'm with that.
networking with different people from the different sports teams. So
Hmm.
like some were director of basketball operations and some were part of football, some were in different sports of college or professional. So it was so yeah, it was dope. It was cool. But
I feel you on that. I feel you on that. That's pretty awesome. There really is. I wanna ask you some favorite questions, Ashley. I really
okay.
do. And based upon these favorite questions, I want you to give me the 411 off the rip. Based upon these questions, are you with me?
I
All
am.
right, let's rock with it. Favorite meal you like to cook?
Favorite meal I like to cook. Ooh. So I live in the South too long. So favorite cooking meal, I call it ham steak because they look like a steak, but it's ham steak. So ham steak, cornbread, rice, and beans, butter beans.
Ashley, I might have to pull up when I come to Charlotte now.
I
That sound pretty good now. I mean, definitely sound good. I would say my meal is tacos. I'm pretty simple. I'm not huge of a cook. I'm much more of a griller. But yeah, tacos is definitely something I can do. I can whip something up real good. That's for sure. Okay. Favorite concert you've ever attended?
ain't gonna lie, I don't go out to concerts a lot. But if I had a favorite, uh, probably the one I went to in Greenville, North Carolina. So they
Mm,
had the Jerk Dougie movement. So I went to the Rangers concert, and like I said, it was like the Jerk Dougie movement back in the day, like the Jerk Dougie music movement back in the day. So
okay.
there was a group called the Rangers. So my friend helped me get a chance to. No, actually, not that one. I would say
Okay. Okay.
that one and West Nile. He was part of the Jerk Dougie movement at the time. He was an artist around that time. I got a
Okay.
chance to meet him because I was like one of his biggest supporters and fans. And my friend got a chance to like help get him to come down to North Carolina, and I was like, all right, bet. So like got tickets, just got a chance to meet him, got a picture with him, the old picture, because I always say I grew up, I ain't just grown up. I grew up, like, everybody say glow up. I grew up, like, yeah, the glow up, whatever you want to call it. So, but I would say that. But like I said, I don't go out to concerts a lot. I don't go out a lot. I be busy. I'm so busy. And I always say, you know, when you drink water, pray, mind the business that pays you, you can be cool. You can be good.
I like that. Okay. I like that. No doubt. Favorite place you've ever traveled to?
Favorite place that I ever traveled to. Dang. I still want to travel because I want to go out the states. My
Absolutely.
favorite place to travel that I went to.
Got you
I always
thinking. This
say,
must be
I
a good question.
know.
This must be a
Uh,
good question. I love it.
I'd probably say Minnesota just because I went there twice. I
Oh,
just
come,
like
come
the
on now.
hotel. The hotel I stayed at was super fire and dope. And the fact that I was able to form connections with the
Sure.
people that I was on mission trips with, like just
Amazing.
spending time and just having those memories. And it was my first line I ever zip line. It was my first time I ever zip line, and that was interesting. So I would say
Okay.
Minnesota. So
Well, come on back now. I mean, look, we will welcome you. I don't know if you want to come back at this time because snow is probably coming down, but come on back to Minnesota.
oh no, 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 no. See, when I went up there in April and it snowed, I said I've never seen this before. Never.
Mm. Yeah, you ain't gonna see that in Charlotte. That's for sure. No question. All right. I'm a sports person, so I'm gonna ask you a sports question, but I think I know the answer to this. Favorite sport you like to watch on TV? Favorite sport you like to attend in person? They can be the same sport.
Definitely basketball.
I love it.
For
I
both.
love it. I love it. You hey, listen, you ain't got to sweet talk me. Basketball is definitely my favorite sport as well. There's no question about that. I love basketball. Played in high school. I absolutely love it. No, no question. Favorite place that you like to go out and eat at, like favorite restaurant they like to go out and eat at. Now, I've been to Charlotte a couple of times for some Panthers games. I know that's Queen City up there. I've
It is.
also been to Tobacco Road, where I've been
Oh,
to a Duke UNC game up there, which I plan on going to another one. Hopefully either this upcoming season or 26, but I definitely plan on going to another one. There's nothing like the UNC Duke stuff that goes up there.
yeah, it's
You
big
know,
down here in North Carolina.
no question. So talk to me
I just
about
met
some food places that's pretty good.
food places. I remember going to this vegan one that I went to. It was like a vegan soul food place called Oh My Soul. I went there. That was smooth. One of my favorite comedians. She's a good friend of mine. She recommended it because I was trying to find some vegan options. Um,
God bless your heart
I
and every vegan
know,
out there, every vegan
but
out there. I'm a carnivore though. I'm a carnivore. I'm
I
sorry.
mean, I tried to eat health as well, I would
Yeah,
say.
no doubt.
Um, what else? I like Mexican places. There was one Mexican place I went to, and I forgot what it was called, but a lady that I helped work with at a Herbalife shop, and I helped her take care of her kids. She took me to this Mexican restaurant place for my birthday, and it was like authentic Mexican food. And I ain't never had a whole people of mariachi people sing to me on my birthday in Spanish.
Wow.
And then they had them little like candles that look like fireworks that I thought I was going to explode. And they had a little hat, and they had the hat they put on you. And then
Hmm.
I had a virgin margarita, so that was smooth too. So
Okay.
I just say Mexican food places, but you know,
Okay. Well, listen, I'm planning on coming down. Charlotte's having a sports career fair in the next couple of months. So I plan on coming down there for Charlotte. You give me a list of at least a couple of those Mexican restaurants because I'm huge into Mexican food. Mexican, Italian are two of my favorites. You know, once I pull up there in Charlotte, I'm gonna have to say hello to you in person for sure.
I know that's right. I
That's
gotta
what's up.
figure out like different places. I know there's one. I know Nana Morrison's. That's a like a soul food place. That's really good too.
I'm
But
with you on that. Oh yes, absolutely. Now I'm with you on that one. Okay, I rock. I like that.
so
Talk to me about your day to day. I know as a journalist, for me, my when I worked in full time for a publication, my days were never the same. They were always different. I was always covering something different, different story, editorials I was writing, all previews, all different kinds of stuff. As a freelancer, they also change. Sometimes I'll get calls to do high school games, college games, pro games, or whatever, and I'll just drive to the location and show up and pull up. Tell me about your day to day of working with, the sports team and doing games, or and stuff like that. How many times do you normally try to do your podcast? Is it a couple times a week, 3 times a week, or it does it just differentiate depending on people's schedules?
first of all, shout out to Johnson C. Smith. Hold on, let me do it very quickly. Johnson C. Smith. Shout out to them.
Okay, okay,
Um,
okay.
yeah, I gotta represent my HBCU that I work with. Um,
Mm,
so um, my day to day depends on the schedule. I always say it depends on the schedule that I work with.
okay,
But I always on my podcast wise, I always want to make sure to work around the guest schedule. So before I got into the full time with John C. Smith, I was working around everybody's schedule just because I always say I want to work around the guest schedule. So because everybody has, a life and they can be busy with stuff. And say
without
if I
question.
were to propose the time, they'd be like, oh, I can't do it. So it's like, all right. So podcast wise, I always schedule depend on if I have a day off. Like the other day, was it the 5th? Yeah, November 5th, I had the day off because we just came back from George Mason. So I had a
Right.
podcast episode with uh a lady that was overseas. And I was interviewing her, sharing her story from the perspective of a wife's girlfriend of an athlete, but she also played sports too. So, and she's like a sports designer for clothing. So, she was 6 hours away. So it was, I got up early in the morning for it. So I was like, I'll do it. So, which was cool.
Okay. Okay.
So, like I said, this depends on scheduling and also what time, because the times, my work to work day, my day to day work, it differentiates the time just because it depends on practice, depends on the game days, everything. So like
Absolutely.
if I got an away game, like man, I might have to like depend. So
Right.
and then for home games, it depends too, because like home games, if it's an early home game, I could try to make it work. But if it's like a night game, like man, this gonna be I may have to, like I said, it depends. So like
So what do you do? What do you do when you go to these games?
for Johnson C. Smith, I am a graphic designer, content creator for them.
Okay.
So of course I'll be on the bench with the team, so like helping them. So I'm considered also a volunteer assistant coach. So I help them with drills. I also also really help them with honestly also with the NIL, help them get into
Mm,
more in the NIL. So I've had couple of girls open up like a merch store through a website, and have them download a couple apps to get them more into the NIL campaign
Okay.
stuff, so they can be able to monetize for their name, image, and likeness. And it's funny because I just got a package in the mail with one of my girls' merch that I purchased from her store. Because I told all my girls that I was gonna purchase a merch from each of their store. So
Okay.
like I have 3 shirts now from 3 different girls. Just
I
because.
love it. Support it. Support paying it forward and supporting it.
Yes.
I love it.
I told all my girls I was gonna get merch from each of their store, and I'm keeping my word about that. So, and
Okay.
I've worn a couple of them already to like practices. So, um,
Okay. Let me ask you because I want to know. I'm huge into hoodies. Do you graphic design any hoodies?
so I'm actually working on hopefully creating merch for my own podcast, for my podcast, but also creating merch, design merch, just because I've had people ask me if I design clothing. I don't have, honestly, I'm still working on it. I just don't have the financial support with it. Like
Right.
if I had, if I had it more often, I would, but I'm probably going to test it out a little bit, probably later on in the future. But I just know merch for the podcast is coming. Bank on that.
Got you. Got you. Okay, I'm a support. Now, a lot, like I said, I'm a 2XL. If you getting hoodies with that, I will support you. There's no question about it because I will buy one, and I'll definitely support the podcast. I already do because you do an amazing job on it. So, but I definitely will support your merch as well, no doubt.
Thank you. I definitely appreciate it for sure. Cause like
Absolutely.
I know shirts are definitely a must. I'll probably do the hoodies as like a limited edition just because hoodies people don't understand. The quality is so expensive of different clothing. So and depends on what type of fabric it is. So
Facts on that. Okay, I like that. Let's talk about mental health and work-life balance. I know you mentioned earlier, Ash, that you're always busy, always on the go. And when you have games like that, you're always going to be on the go and working with different sports teams and stuff like that. But sometimes when you work so much, you experience burnout, right? In my industry, is burnout, overpaid, or I should say underpaid and overworked. A lot of journalists get like that and they kind of veer off and go into a different profession. Talk to me about how you handle your mental health and also be able to have that work life balance because you seem like a wonderful woman to be around and hang out with, but you also seem about your business too and seem like you're very busy. So talk to me about how you balance that.
first of all, mental health is very important. I always ask about mental health on my podcast, especially each girl or person, like how important is mental health to you? Because
Sure.
for me, mental health is so needed. It needs to be really talked about more within the athletic area, because
Sure.
people need to remember that athletes are human first, because you see daily how much hard work they put in, and they have so much weight on carrying on their shoulders. I would say imagine having to balance school, work, doing the sport, plus traveling, or having to do, weights at 5 in the morning, and then having practice after that, and then having to change and hopefully maybe get some food on time or something. So I think for me, and I know I always make sure to ask, the people in my life, how are they doing? And when I say how are they doing, I'm like, how are you doing? Like mentally, how are you doing? Because, you could be saying, how are you doing? They're like, oh, I'm good. But like, for real, how are you doing mentally? Like, how are you feeling? Like, are you good? And I've always been like the empathetic, actually asking people, how are they doing? And I forget to at times to check on myself because I'm such a loving, caring person to where I give a lot, and I know for me I need to give myself more as well and focus more on myself as well.
Yes.
I would say balancing wise, mental health with work, it's not the easiest. I'm gonna tell you why it's not the easiest, just because you're so focused on things that you forget to check on yourself. And there's gonna be
Mhm.
times where you burnt out or just overwhelmed, and then you feel like stress is coming. But one of the biggest things that I've been working on for sure is prayer. Like just praying, that I don't get anxiety. I've had, I've fought with anxiety for the longest time since 16 from PTSD of what happened to me. And there's times I get anxious. I've had anxiety attacks. So like you know, just praying that, I don't get overwhelmed or overstimulated, anxiety, or feel like I'm afraid of something, but just basically keep my head high, but always remember like there's a purpose for me here. There's a purpose that God has planted me, and
Absolutely.
uh,
Amen.
yeah, and there's a purpose like in doing what I am doing right now with being part of the team. I've told my girls a few times, you know, I wake up every day, you know, early in the morning. There's like I feel like when I wake up, I I'm fulfilling a purpose, because what like for me being with them, I feel like I'm fulfilling the purpose that God placed me in, or I'm fulfilling a purpose because I see it as a purpose, or I never take it for granted. You never want to delay gratitude. I learned that quote from both Skip Prosser and Chris Paul, and I learned it from Chris Paul from his book,
Mm.
and he talked about it in his book, Never Delay Gratitude, because that was from his former coach,
Right. At Wake Forest.
from Skip Prosser, and he always
Yep.
said never delay gratitude. So I think that's the biggest thing too, never delay gratitude, but also like just reminding myself that, of course, mental health is very important, and just
Mhm.
like I said, health as well. But also, honestly, to be honest, just prayer really, really has helped me a lot more, and just writing down my prayers more often as well. I actually learned about a prayer journal from one of my best friends who's playing overseas. I learned about that. Um, but yeah, so I just, I just feel like when you have a purpose that you see yourself doing, fulfilling, or you manifesting, you see yourself so, seeing yourself completing or doing or receiving. You manifest
Right.
it, but also pray it. So yeah,
I love it. No, I love that. I do. It's a great answer. It's a question worth asking because, like you said, mental health is not something that we advocate about a whole lot, especially in the athletic industry. With athletes or different people who are covering sports or different just people just involved in sports. Yes, it is important to know athletes are human first, and then athletes second. So I love asking that question on how people deal with that because people deal with it in different ways. But it is something that we definitely need to talk about. And I've had numerous of guests on here, and we talk about it almost every show because it's much. It's a must to do. So I appreciate that. I appreciate your transparency as well, opening up and talking about different things, right? And maybe on part two we can dive in a little bit deeper on those things because I definitely want to have a part two with you for sure. We've now came to the portion of this or that. It's the interactive game where I like to play with all my guests here on the Work Hard, Play Harder podcast. What I do is I put some things together and you get to choose this or that. Ashley, are you ready?
stay ready so you ain't gotta get ready.
Here you go. Here you go with the lines. Okay, I'm with you on that. Here we go. Let's get it. Popeyes or KFC? Which restaurant are you choosing?
Yeah, dang. I don't like I don't like neither of them, but
Oh Lord. Oh
I
no.
don't. I'm a Bojangles person, but if I had to choose between Popeyes or KFC, Popeyes.
Okay, so fun fact, I never had Bojangles.
It's the
Wow.
Southern thing. It's okay.
Wow.
They're
And I've lived in Atlanta and went to school out in Atlanta for some time, but I've never had Bojangles.
fine. Bowberry biscuit from Bojangles is the key.
The Bowberry biscuit. Okay. Well, I promise you, next time I try, or if once I do try it, I'm gonna hit you up and let you know if my life has changed or not. So I'm gonna let you know for
It's
sure.
really good, I promise you.
Okay. Say less. When it comes to chicken wing flavors, are you choosing barbecue or lemon pepper?
Everybody want that lemon pepper. Come on.
Okay.
Barbecue to me is a dipping sauce. I don't eat really barbecue wings. I'm more of a spicy person.
So you like buffalo?
I am a buffalo person. I like buffalo. I like the what's it called? The Asian zing, like the sweet spicy.
Is that teriyaki? You like teriyaki and stuff like that?
Yeah, it's too bland.
Yeah. Plain? Okay, I got you.
Um,
Okay. So do you like your wings wet or dry?
I don't like rub dry. I like wet.
Okay, I'm
I like
with you
it
on that.
saucy.
Me too. I'm with it. Okay. Do you like your wings bone in or boneless?
You got it with the bone. If it's
Listen,
boneless, then you might as well call it nuggets or chicken tenders.
listen. I don't judge either way. I'm gonna be 100 with you. Okay, but I'm a bone in person. I like to get a little messy. Give me a wet wipe. I'm about to go to work on these wings. That's what I like, and it sounds like you the same way. That's what it sounds like to me. Okay, I'm with it. This next four have to do with music concerts you rather attend. Okay,
All
so
right.
here we go. Which music concert would you rather go to? Brandy or Monica?
And I listen to more Monica than Brandy to me.
Okay, all right.
I just like Brandy's like R&B pop, but Monica is more straight too. I feel like she's almost leaning towards the neo soul. Almost.
Listen, she's had some bangers, right? Just one of them days is a banger. For you, I will is a banger. Even to a
So
newer stuff.
gone.
Yep, still. Oh Lord, still gone. Or so
So
is it still
gone.
going or so gone? So
So
gone.
gone.
That's right. That's the one with Missy. That's the one with Missy produced that one. I remember that one. So yes.
Should have
I
known
respect.
better was my jam by her.
Mm,
Of course, the
she,
boy's mine with Brandy, and it all belongs to me by Brand with her and Brandy is good.
yeah, that was
Um,
classic. She has one with Little Baby too. The newer one with Little Baby. It's her.
oh yeah, I remember that one.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. So
Love
did you hear the
All Over
remake?
by her is really good, and You're Everything for Me by her is really good.
Absolutely it is. Did you hear the
And Dozen
remake?
Roses, actually Dozen Roses by of her. It's kind of in the mid, like old, but it's almost all new. Dozen Roses
Yeah,
by her is
that
really
was okay. That was okay. I'm not gonna lie to you about that. Did you hear the remix to The Boy Is Mine?
the what?
The remix by her, Brandy, and Ariana Grande.
No.
Wow. You got to listen to that. The Boy Is Mine remix with her, Brandy, and Ariana Grande. It's pretty good. It's pretty
Lord.
good. Okay. Which music concert would you rather go to? J. Cole or Lil Wayne?
Cold World.
Okay. Have you ever been to a Dreamville Fest out there? Because I have. Have you ever been there?
No, I wanted to go, but it's too many people. I want to go, but it's so many people. I would love to go to Dreamville. The only
Oh, it's
reason why
hella
I say
people
Cold World because see, I used to like Lil Wayne when he had his mixtape days, and I grew up Lil Wayne with
too.
high
Yep.
school, like the dedication mixtapes and you know the Carter 2. That was what I grew up in high
Yeah.
school.
That's classic Lil Wayne right there. The Block is Hot. You remember The Block is Hot? You remember
Yes,
that? Yeah. Okay. Okay. I got you. Got
and but from a perspective of like really listening to music and the consciousness, I'm J. Cole person. Like also his music is poetry because I write poetry. I do poetry on the side. I
you.
written,
Really?
yes, sir. I've
Okay.
I written my own poetry book that's on Amazon as well. I've actually I perform on open my one of my best friends open mic on Instagram. So I sometimes co-host her. But yeah, I love J. Cole. Of course he's in North Carolina. He's from Fayetteville.
He
But
is.
um I've actually seen him one time at an NC State game in person, and then I saw him one time at a Charlotte Bobcats game in person. So I was like, wow, I just saw J. Cole twice in
That's what's
like my
up.
life.
That's what's up.
But
You're gonna have to give me the title of that book, by the way, because I write poetry as well, and I love poetry. One of my favorite books of poetry is "The Rose That Grew from Concrete." If
I
you
have
remember that.
that book by Tupac Shakur.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's
Yes,
one. Yep, that's one of my favorites. No question. I'm a huge Langston Hughes is another poet that I really love as well. But "The Rose That Grew from Concrete" is my favorite all time book. I love that.
yes.
Okay,
Um,
say less. I love it.
yeah, so but yeah, J. Cole most definitely just because I love his discography. Yeah.
Okay. All right, so here we go. Here's another concert. Which
Um,
concert would you rather go to? Would you rather go see Kendrick Lamar or Drake?
Kendrick.
Girl, we vibing right now. We are vibing
Drake,
right now. I
here's the
love this.
thing, and I know I'm probably gonna get arrested for this. Drake Drake's lyrics is really good Instagram captions for people. Drake is like the rapper that gives you all the Instagram captions. Like
Okay.
if you look at a lot of people's Instagram captions, a lot of it is like Drake inspired. Like last name ever, first name greatest, like a spray name boy ain't nothing to play with. Like you could probably see that on the Instagram caption or, you know, what's the called? Something from another song.
Right. No, I feel you.
But
I feel you.
I will say his best album that I really liked listening was his first album when it hit mainstream. The
Are you talking about the Houston, Atlanta, Vegas, or are you talking about Take Care?
no, not Take Care. It was before Take Care. It
Okay,
had
before the verse one.
it
I
had the
got you.
song
Oh,
Fireworks.
thank me later. Thank me later.
Yay. Yes, thank me later. Yeah, because it had thank me now, but thank me later. Yeah.
Yeah, thank me. I got you on that. Mine was Take Care. I love Take Care. That album was really good. No
Lord
question.
knows out of Take Lord knows the song from Take Care is probably my favorite Drake song.
I got you. Say less. Last one of the music. Which artist would you rather go see in person? Would you rather go see Cardi B or would you rather go see Nicki Minaj?
Cardi. I just I don't know what it is about Cardi B for some reason. I mean, both of here's the thing. Both female rappers are also great for Instagram captions, especially
Okay.
Nicki.
Okay.
But I just like Cardi B, really.
Okay.
My thing is, I'm an old school female rapper person. I love like old school female rappers like Lil Kim and Trina and Missy.
C Brown, you like that? Yeah, yeah, I feel you on that.
Like, I mean, the newer ones, like, but between Nicki and Cardi, I would say, like I said, Cardi B, just because I don't know, it's something about her energy. It's just, it's to me, it's she's funny, like,
Okay.
but
Okay.
she has that appeal, like, oh, okay, like, I mean, she won a Grammy. She ended up winning a Grammy in her
She
first
did.
album, so I was
She
like, oh,
did.
coming from Love and Hip Hop and then get a Grammy.
Well, listen, just to, kind of piggyback off what you said, Missy is in a class of herself. I don't think anybody is really as far as, that next generation of rap, because we had MC Light, we had Salt and Pepper, we had, you had those women a little bit back in the day, and then you had Little Kim, you had Missy, uh I'm blanking on a couple more. The Brat, my bad. The Brat, you had so right, right. So you had them up next. So for me, yeah, Missy is definitely somebody who I still listen to this day. I mean, her albums was fire, no question about it, and I love that. I really do. Let me get this next one in for you, and now I want you to pick between basketball players. Okay, so here we go. Which basketball player would you rather have on your team? Would you rather have Diana Taurasi or Sue Bird?
Oh God. I like both players for real.
I do too.
Uh the White Mamba.
Yeah, she's my goat. Diana Taurasi. No question. No question about it. Okay. Okay. Here we go. Which player would you rather have on your team? Juju Watkins or Paige Buckers?
Oh gosh, these are hard because I love both players.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I didn't see a lot of Paige last year, even though she came back. I really love Juju Watkins' game. I actually really preferred her game over Caitlin Clark last year. But that's just
Okay.
but I would say Juju just because she's she's like a up next person, but she has that. I mean, both players are very
Mm-hmm.
impactful. They have a growing fan base and stuff. But I just like Juju's game. Like
I love it. I
yeah.
love it. Okay.
She's like a
Which
3 level scorer, I say.
Oh, I love that. No doubt. Now, which player would you rather have on your team? Would you rather have Caitlin Clark or Angel Reese?
Angel Reese.
Okay, I'm with you on that. I love that. Which player would you rather have on your team? Would you rather have Enrique Ongumlake, if I said her name right, Ongumlake, or would you rather have Aja Wilson?
You said Arike Ngubowale.
Ungumwale, that's right. That's how you say her name. Okay, cool.
You're thinking
Or Aja,
of Chini and Nika, the other ones.
I am thinking about that. That's right. Okay, Ogun, you said Ogunlawale?
Arike Ngubowale.
Ungumwale. Okay, yep. Or Aja Wilson.
Oh man, come on, man. Both both of them are national champions in college too.
Sure. But which one you choosing? Which one, if they both was on the blacktop and you wanted them on your team, which one you choosing?
Man, both are scrappy too. Both are. I would love Enrique, but Asia gotta be on it for me.
I
Just,
feel you. I listen. I love Enrique too, but I'm rolling with the MVP now. I'm rolling with the MVP too. Okay, last one of the basketball. Which player would you rather have on your team? Sabrina Ionescu or Kelsey Plum?
Sabrina Nescu versus Kelsey Plum. Kelsey Plum. I love Kelsey's game. Just she's a dog.
I love it. I love it. Okay, that's what's up. Now, do you like desserts, Ashley?
Who doesn't?
You'd be surprised. I ain't gonna lie. You'd be surprised now. I'm gonna throw 4 categories out there of desserts, and you
Uh,
get to choose one of these that you'll never eat again. Okay.
right.
All right. Here we go. The first one is ice cream. The next one is cake. The third one is candy. The last one is cookies. Which dessert are you going to choose that you'll never eat again?
Hmm.
I know this is a hard one. I know it.
So cookies, ice cream,
Cake and
cake,
candy.
probably cake, just because it's so much. Like
Okay.
it's just so much. Candy, cookies, they're both on the go. You can just take them with you. Um, Ice cream, you could just relax with ice cream. But cake,
Now, what's your favorite ice cream?
I love Stone Cold. I love Stone Cones, Stone Cold ice cream for the longest time, just because
Okay. What's your flavor? I'm cookies and cream.
uh I like their birthday cake one. I like their cotton candy one. I used to get mint chocolate all the time from them.
Okay. I'm with you on that. I like that. Do you like potato chips?
Japan.
Okay, so here we go. I'm gonna throw 4 brands out.
Okay.
Same format. You gotta eliminate one of these you'll never eat again. Okay, so here we go.
All right.
The first one is Ruffles. The second one is Doritos. The third one is Lay's. The last one is Pringles. Which one are you getting rid of that you'll never eat again?
Blades can go.
I'm with you on that, girl. I'm with you on that. The hell with Lay's. I'm listen. Ruffles. Ruffles is my favorite. No question. The best chip ever made is sour cream and cheddar. Ruffles. That's the best chip ever made. Um, then the second worst chip ever made is salt and vinegar. God bless those who like salt and vinegar chips because they horrible. They're terrible.
I like the kettle salt vinegar chips from like Jersey Mike's. I like their ones and Jimmy John's salt vinegar chips. That's also
God bless you.
like,
Bless your God bless
but
your heart.
but the blue Doritos are the best ones. I don't care what anybody said. The Cool Ranch the blue Doritos is the best one.
Okay.
Pringles is really good.
Yep.
Just for some reason, they're supposed to be stacked up in a can and they still get smushed and breakable. But
No, I don't know how that happens, but I'm a sour cream and onion, cheddar, barbecue. That's my Pringles. Those are my three main Pringles that I eat, and the
sour,
original too.
sour cream was sour cream for Pringles is good. The pizza flavor is really good. Those were the two ones that I would eat.
I never had the pizza flavor. I'm gonna have to look for that. Never had that. Okay, say less. I'm with you on that. You did pretty good, Ash, on this or that. I want to ask you about advice.
Yes.
What is some advice that someone has gave you that you hold on dearly to? But also, what is some advice that you would give someone that wants to kind of work with a team, right? That wants to be in the graphic design business. What kind of advice would you give them? Two-part question.
All right. So the first question, what advice that I was given by someone that stuck with me? I would
Yeah,
say, so I have a best friend that plays overseas right now. Um, and I remember hearing, and I always say that I always tell him, he teach me this. Um, what's meant for you will always arrive in God's perfect timing, in certain things in life, there's a reason why, you know, this didn't happen, but it came into fruition later on. Like, God's timing is always perfect. So, I would say what's meant for you will always what he said basically is just to me, I always just always in ways apply to it. Because what's meant for you will always arrive in God's perfect time, and He has a plan for everything, for everyone, to trust it.
man.
So I
Absolutely.
always, yeah. So I always, yeah. And he's definitely one of the people. He's definitely someone that inspires me every day, for real. To be honest. Um, Advice I would give to someone if they want to be in any field, whether it's coaching, whether it's starting your own business. Um, Man, I would say aspire yourself to inspire others. Inspire yourself to do what you love to do, so it will help inspire others to continue to get that hope that what they love to do. You know, Sometimes also, to when you have to support yourself, sometimes supporting yourself is the best support you're always going to get, because if you support yourself, it's going to also inspire others to support you.
Right.
So honestly, I always aspire myself to inspire others doing what they love to do, regardless if, like, say, for me, I aspire myself to inspire others, regardless. I may be a woman in sport who happens to be autistic. I may be different, but I'm doing what I love to do. I'm doing, what God has placed me in, and like I said, I always have to remind myself and always remember that, what's meant for me will always arrive in God's perfect time. So I would say that. Yeah, yeah.
No, I love it. I do. And listen, I never would have known that you were autistic unless you told me that. I really do appreciate your transparency on that and being able to say that. Um, I also appreciate this conversation. I appreciate the fact that I was willing to talk to you and find out what you do, find out your why, find out your purpose. And listen, you're doing something that you love to do. And when you do something that you love to do, you don't call it work. And you keeping the Lord the center of your purpose, which a lot of people do that. A lot of people may not advocate it. Some do, some don't. It's their choice to do so. And I love the fact that you are doing that. I love the fact that you're doing what you're doing with the teams, the graphic design, and your journey. Although may not be a traditional one, it's still one that people should hear about because it's a special one. Everybody's journey is, and including yours. It's been a pretty dope conversation, learning about you, what you blog about, your podcast, the type of guests that you have on there. Yes, you are 11 episodes away from 100. I do know you are on 89. And I love the fact you talked about the Special Olympics as well, which is also something that's amazing, amazing accomplishment to, be even playing in and featured in. Whenever I do come to Charlotte, we're going to have to play a game of horse or pig. I'm going to have to see if you still got it.
All
Do
my
you still?
players, every player or practice player always try to challenge me. I'm like, y'all not ready. Y'all don't want the work. But nobody is ready. I always say nobody's ready, but
So you saying that they don't want the smoke is what you
nobody
saying.
wants to smoke. I always say nobody is ready for me. Ain't nobody
Okay.
ready for me.
I'm trying to tell you, girl, when I put the shoes on, you know I'm ready. Okay. If you see me in flip flops, hey, don't challenge me. But if you see me in them sneakers, I'm ready to go. I'm just letting you know right now, for sure, for sure. But like I said, it's been an amazing conversation with you, Ash, and I hope and wish nothing but the best success moving forward with you. As I always do on my podcast, I ask you, is there anything else that you would like to add about yourself, your job, or anything in general before we conclude?
All right, so shout out to Johnson C. Smith women's basketball, invest in women's sports and HBCU sports, y'all. Be sure to do that. Amazing things happen. You can follow me on Instagram at Ashley.3. Follow my podcast, Bonafide Her Podcast, on YouTube, as well as Instagram, Bonafide Her Podcast, where you can also donate to it. If you feeling generous and want to, if you enjoy the content, you can always donate to it. It's the link in my bio as well. Yeah. Um, Big shout out to you, Mr. Chris, for allowing me to come on your podcast. I definitely appreciate it for real, for real. Like I
Thank
said,
you.
there's always a blessing behind every situation. So thank you so much again. Like I said, be sure to follow me on Instagram, Ashley.3. Be sure to follow my podcast, Bonafide Her Podcast. Definitely appreciate it. And yeah, that's all.
I appreciate you. Thank you for hopping on my podcast. I'm a new fan of yours, and best of luck to you in your future endeavors. Keep shining like a diamond, like Riri, and doing your podcast. I really do appreciate it. Have a wonderful Saturday night.
Appreciate it, sir.